Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Open Source Tonight. Folks, today what I want to talk to you about is my opinion on window managers. So, window managers, for those that do not know, is things like OpenBox and i3 and stuff, where you can have, it's not really a full desktop environment, it's a window manager. It's very simple and basic, very lightweight, and very, I guess you could say, compared to a desktop environment, it's not quite as, I don't know, maybe powerful is not the right word, but it's different. So personally, for me, I don't really care much for window managers. They're okay, but I'd rather have a full desktop environment personally. So, I'll get into that in a minute, but I will just say with a caveat, I do like OpenBox, and I do like a window manager called the Motif Window Manager, MWM. Even though I don't really use those very much, they're kind of used sparingly. But like if I wanted to build a system like a kiosk or something that's not going to need to have a full desktop environment, that's when I might use a window manager. So my logic is use a window manager when you want something that's super, super lightweight, because they're very lightweight, especially something like the Motif Window Manager. I mean, that thing is super lightweight. I put that on computers that are really old, and even like running Mate or something, they'll still be dragging. And then you start running at like Motif Window Manager, and it literally just, the mouse goes 100 miles an hour around the screen. It's so cool to be able to actually make that happen. So that being said, folks, as far as I'm concerned, unless you want something that's super fast, maybe a window manager isn't for you. Now, I will say this. I know there's people that love window managers out there in the Linux community, and that's cool. Everybody, that's the beautiful thing about Linux. We all get to enjoy using Linux in our own way that we want to use it. But personally, for me, I just don't really care for window managers. Now, that being said, I will say this. Window managers, some of them, you can do a lot of things to them. For example, like OpenBox, it can be pretty customizable. And so I do understand, like, well, hey, you could go ahead and do an awful lot with like OpenBox and the right settings and, the right kind of, I don't know if they're called extensions or plugins or what, but I think you can like add like stuff to it. But like, with the right stuff, you could build effectively your own desktop environment, or a very slimmed down, environment that does what you need. And so I do think that, depending on the user, it could be right for them. But really, when we're talking about less technical users or users that really want a more full desktop experience with a full environment, a suite of applications, a file manager that's easy to get to, a nice, very graphical environment that they don't have to configure, that kind of stuff, that's when you start to, I think, go towards a desktop environment. But if you are the opposite direction, where it's like, I want something very lean and gets out of the way, and you know how to configure all that stuff and you're willing to, then maybe a window manager is for you. That's kind of my thing. I mean, I have played with them over the years a little bit, but I'm by no means the expert on window managers, but I know a little bit, and that's kind of what I picked up over the years. Let me know in the comments what you all think about window managers. Do you use one? And if so, which one? I'd love to hear about that. And in addition to that, while you're also in the comments, tell me what you think about window managers as a whole group as far as like using Linux. And the last thing I'll leave you with is normally a window manager is a component inside a full desktop environment too. So technically speaking, we all use a window manager, even if we're using a full desktop environment. We just don't know it because it's taken care of for us for the desktop environment. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching Open Source Tonight. Hope to see your comments soon, and see y'all again next time. Goodbye, everybody. And action.